Chatty Wednesdays with me.
Hello happy campers, it's Wednesday and I wanted to do another Chatty Wednesday today, but I didn't really know what to talk about. It's been very hot in London. Speaking of, is my biggest fan. That's pretty much all I have to say. So I asked you on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter if there was anything you wanted me to talk about in particular on this Chatty Wednesday, and I got some lovely sort of questions. So I feel like this is pretty much what I did last time anyway, but it's like a Q&A almost. Okay, let's have a look. Lotsy101 says, maybe you could talk about your songwriting process a bit and how the current situation has influenced it, in case it did, or you could talk about how you chose which songs you like to cover and how long it takes you to learn them. Anyway, I'm honestly happy with any topic since watching your videos always puts me in a good mood. My songwriting process is, I don't really know. It's not really a process. It's more like an emotional breakdown each time. I get an idea and I think that would be cool, and then I get my guitar and then I sit for a bit and then I think this is all rubbish and I hate it, and then I come back to it the next day and I don't hate it so much, and then I finish it. And that's how I write songs. With choosing songs to cover, I'm really bad at making decisions. I hate choice. So like when I first started YouTube, I did like an artist alphabet, and that was mostly just so I didn't have to decide what I was gonna learn. I used to try and cover songs that were like whatever was #1, I would try and cover it. But I'm too old for that now. I don't care about the charts and I hate popular music. I tend to just cover songs that I love, and I'm gonna restart my artist alphabet. Furbo's Viking, and I think that might be Chris, says, if you weren't able to sing for a living, what career path would you have pursued? I wanted to be a primary school teacher. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I have an English degree, a 2-1. I got that at the University of Southampton, and then I decided I was going to do a PGCE to convert my English degree into a teaching degree. I had applied and got in, and I was preparing to start my PGCE, and that summer is when I started busking on the South Bank. But basically during that summer I entered a competition just for fun, and I ended up winning a scholarship to study songwriting at a university in London, so I deferred my teaching degree, and then by the time I'd finished my songwriting degree I was making a living as a musician, and I'd never looked back. I think I would like to be a primary school teacher. I wouldn't turn my nose up at being a primary school teacher, to be honest. I think I'd have fun. Jeff says, how about, who would you like to duet with, and would it be one of yours or one of theirs? I mean, obviously Taylor Swift. I would really love to duet with Taylor Swift. And I'm happy to do one of your songs, Taylor. I don't mind. Speaking of duets, I had the absolute pleasure of doing a duet with Dean Friedman a couple of weeks ago. Dean Friedman is a wonderful, wonderful songwriter that I know, and I met him because he invited me to play at his songwriting festival, SONGFEST, in 2019. And to be honest, sorry Dean if you're watching this, I didn't know who he was, but my mum was like, Dean Friedman? Oh my god. And so I think he was big, perhaps slightly before my time. He does these great Zoom gigs where he does a gig and people buy a ticket and they can come and watch on Zoom, which is really fun actually, because when the song ends everybody claps, which is something you don't really get from a live stream. He asked me if I would come on and do the Lucky Stars duet with him, so I did that, and it was wonderful. And since we're on the topic, I am doing another gig with Dean Friedman on the 30th of August. It's SONGFEST online this year, so I was meant to be playing SONGFEST 2020 in July, but obviously it was cancelled and they've taken it online. So I'm going to be playing Dean Friedman's Song Festival, which is a Zoom gig again, so you can buy a ticket. I'll put a link in the description if you want to come down. It'll be really, really fun. I'm doing a half-hour set, but I'm also helping Dean to host it, so it's pretty cool. My life's pretty cool right now. Ilsa says, I don't know, maybe a tour of your flower crowns, chat about how you're finding being an independent artist in lockdown from your perspective, and she got one of my wristbands in the mail. So thank you very much, Ilsa. A quick headband tour. I sort of categorise my headbands in two ways. Okay, I've got these headbands which are just sort of like my day-to-day, a little bit smaller, a little bit more wearable. And then I have my sort of performance headbands which I actually keep on a hanger. So these are my performance headbands. They're a little bit bigger, a little bit wackier, a little bit more Carole Baskin, if you will. So one's like this little one that I have, this little white one. It's really good, it's really wearable. I just chuck it on when I'm like having just a little bit more casual. This is a casual headband. I love this headband so much that when I bought it, I immediately realised that it was going to be my like go-to day-to-day headband. So I actually went back to H&M and just bought it again. A bit like The Simpsons, you know, like a cartoon. Like, you know, they open their cupboard and it's just the same clothes over and over again. Then I have like similar ones, like I have like quite a similar one but in a blue. I have all these kind of like smaller little ones in different colours. So I have a pink and a light blue. Let's get on to the big gun. This is one that I think Connor's mum got for me from a festival, and I love this because it just has like this like fun thing in the back of it. I have a couple of like gold ones which are really nice. They're kind of like Grecian because they're sort of gold. I got this one at Glastonbury. I got this one in Ohio when I went to play a wedding there, and I went to like a little mall and I saw this, and it was just like that was the colour of the dress that I was wearing, and I just really liked it, so I really love this one. I bought this one in Edinburgh. This is one of my oldest headbands that I actually rarely wear because it's so big it's ridiculous, but I actually wore this on stage at Matala Festival when I played there. I have a song called Matala on my second album, Making Waves. And lastly, this headband I got for Christmas from my mum, and it is a fave actually. This one is like, I don't know where she got this one, but this is like a solid gold headband, and I can't decide if it's red or pink, which makes it very hard to match, but I'm looking in the camera, it looks very pink, but in person it looks quite red, so I don't know. And I guess the question I often get asked is, how many do I have? And I don't know, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna hang them back up. Oh, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I've got one down there that's 18. 18, oh, 19, oh, 20. So 20, and if you want to count my duplicates, then 22. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Claire says, your prep routines for live streams and concerts. Super geeky questions. Not geeky at all, Claire. Love those questions. I sometimes think it would be really funny for you guys to see behind the scenes about 10 to 5 minutes before I'm about to go live, because it's like chaos. It is like chaos in our house. And even though in lockdown I was doing it every week and we weren't really doing anything else other than the live streams, 10 minutes or so before we were scrambling around trying to get things together. One of the things I think that some of you do know, but I still find quite funny, is that I don't have like a stand for my laptop, and I don't have a table that would bring the laptop high enough, so we actually use a clothes horse to put my laptop on. So, and sometimes our washing isn't dry. So even though I hope that the live stream looks quite slick from where you're sitting, it's sitting on the top of my clean but still drying laundry. Samantha says, what's your favourite Disney movie? Is it your favourite because of the music, and do you cover any songs from it? I recently watched Coco, which I'm just trying not to cry right now, even saying the words Coco. That is one of the best films I've ever seen in my life, not just a Disney movie. Coco is fantastic. I did cover Remember Me, but I don't think I can ever do it without crying. I love Frozen. I haven't seen Frozen 2. I love Beauty and the Beast, and I love the theme tune from Beauty and the Beast. Or as my mum likes to call it, Beauty and the Prince, formerly known as Beast. Given that you're usually such a sunny and smiling person, talk about what and who makes you laugh. This is a lovely question, John. I really love one-liner comedy, so I love Tim Vine and like Milton Jones and people like that. There's a comedian called Alistair Green on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. I'm sure he's a comedian in real life as well, but he's very funny on Instagram and Twitter. I find music comedy very funny. I like Tim Minchin, Bill Bailey. There's a fantastic music comedian called Boothie Graffo, and I'm playing a gig with him on the 30th of August. I mentioned earlier, that's Songfest. Thank you so much for your questions, and I want to do more of these chatty Wednesdays. I have a fantastic suggestion from Alex, who said that I should do assumptions about buskers. So there's like a YouTube trend that people do, which is like assumptions about me. So like obviously now that if you've been watching me for a while, you probably know quite a lot about me, but when you first maybe saw me, or you first watched a video of mine, or if you saw me busking, I'd love to know what you first thought about me, like things you just assumed. I'd really love to know what your assumptions are about buskers, maybe not just about me, but like if you see a busker, or your previous assumptions maybe before you discovered me and some of my like busking circle of friends, because I know there's a lot of assumptions about buskers that are completely wrong, and a lot of people have said to me, oh, I used to think buskers were this or that, and then I saw you, or I saw like one of your busker friends, and I understand that you're like hardworking musicians. So I think that would be a really, really interesting topic for a chatty Wednesday. So if you could write in the comments one of your assumptions about buskers, I really won't be offended, and I really won't assume that that's an assumption about me, so don't worry, just be completely honest. Or any just assumptions that you have about me, about my life, like maybe you assume that I have 6 cats, or you assume that I sleep on a bed of roses, whatever you assume about me. I would really love some assumptions that I can either tell you are true or false, and I will do a video about that in the coming weeks, so please write your comments in the box below. I'm just going to take a couple more questions before we go. Wayne says, did you mention your single's out in 4 days? If not, mention that maybe. So I actually posted this on Monday, so that was when my single was 4 days away, but now it's Wednesday, so my single is 2 days away. Did I mention I have a new single coming out on Friday, thanks to you? Link in the description. See you next week.
Charlotte Campbell.